Now, the public inquiry into the contaminated blood scandal of the 1970s and 80s has heard its final key pieces of evidence. An estimated 30,000 people were infected with HIV or hepatitis C in what's been called the worst treatment disaster in the history of the NHS. Well, I'm joined now by Joseph Peaty, a haemophiliac campaigner who found out he'd been infected with hepatitis C and HIV via contaminated blood when he was 17 years old. Joseph, it's good to see you. We do appreciate you coming on the programme to talk to us. It's been a long wait. It's been a long time. But this awful situation, certainly as far as the public hearing what's going on and you being able to put out there, you and others put out there your point of view, it's finally coming to an end.
Yes, indeed. We've just heard the last of the oral hearings and Sir Brian's closing remarks. It's been a long wait, and we now wait with great anticipation what Sir Brian has to say in his report, and perhaps with some trepidation whether the UK government will finally deal with this matter, or whether they will continue to kick it down the road as they've done up until now, and as they've done with other inquiries. What we've heard this afternoon, and it perhaps reflects the intransigence of the government and their failure to make any clarifying statements in the closing hearings, was Sir Brian's intention to publish another interim report before his final report, and we are hoping for that by Easter. We hope that it will spur the government into some form of action, perhaps with additional interim payments, perhaps recognising some of the elements that haven't been recognised so far, so perhaps children that lost parents, parents that lost children. But then, of course, finally, maybe in the autumn we will get the final report, and then it remains to be seen what the government will do about that, what the recommendations are, and whether they will set about correcting some of the issues, so substantial compensation, provision of psychological support, social work support, care support, and the likes, or whether these things will be kicked into the long grass again.
When the final report comes out, any suggestion to kick it into the long grass will be dimly viewed by many people, you included. I also wonder, though, Joseph, if you believe that there should be some kind of prosecution. Andy Burnham has suggested corporate manslaughter.
Yeah, I think in some cases there is certainly a good case for that, and I know that there will be some people within the campaign community that feel that should be looked at quite closely. I think Sir Brian has the opportunity, if not to say that there should be criminal prosecutions, then to at least point the way that they should be dealt with. Yeah.
Joseph, what has it been like for you living with your condition?
It has been beyond challenging, and it's an understatement, and it's very hard to really impart that to anyone who hasn't had to live with it, I have to say. There has been illness, and life has been completely undermined from the moment I was infected. Life was changed, damaged irreparably, so career, family, all of these things, or as we heard Jenny, the counsel for the inquiry, summing up today, these infections, once they'd occurred, they start to erase different aspects of your life. They take away those potentialities until you're left living with the condition, and you don't want it to define you, but the condition is that overwhelming that it does, and you have to deal with the physical fallout from it. But as time goes on, if you're fortunate enough to survive, then more and more the psychological fallout from it becomes not just present, but it takes over your life, and it becomes a real struggle to deal with.
Yeah. When we do get the final report and we get the government's response, what single thing, and this may be too simplified a question, but I just wonder if there is anything that will improve your life that you want to see the government do, or say, or act in a particular way, once we do get the final result of this inquiry.
Yeah, so I suppose in some ways dealing with the people that were infected through these contaminated blood products may be the easier part of it. It's if they can address the compensation, if they can address the things like the care support and psychological support provision that we need. These are things that I'm hopeful for that could make a real difference to me. But what I'd really like to see, and it's perhaps the hardest part of the equation, is to see a change in attitude to that runs through the veins of government, the pharmaceuticals, the medical profession, and it's to deal with the issues of candour and patient safety, and to really embrace these and make them a central part of the service that's provided, so that we don't have to fight for 40 years for an inquiry again, so that there should be a mechanism which brings that around much easier, and which will deal with mistakes when they are made in a way that enables the service to learn from them and to build a better service, instead of brushing them under the carpet and allowing them to happen again and again.
Yeah, this cannot be allowed to happen again. Joseph, we really do appreciate you coming on the programme to give us your thoughts on this very, very important day. Joseph Peaty, thank you.
Thank you very much.